The movie opens in 1968 with a serene view of train tracks, immediately setting a timestamp. We are introduced to Paul, who surprises Iris by building a skyview restaurant, a restaurant with a glass floor offering a spectacular view of the city below. To celebrate the opening, a photo is taken of Paul and Iris in front of this tower. The restaurant features a live kitchen in its center and a transparent glass floor, creating a thrilling dining experience for its patrons. The atmosphere is festive, with guests dancing and enjoying themselves. Iris places a rose in Paul's pocket, but as she does so, a thorn pricks her finger and causes it to bleed. This sudden pain makes Iris nauseous, leading her to vomit. A singer at the party notices these signs and deduces that Iris is pregnant. When the singer asks Iris, she confirms she has just found out herself. Iris is overjoyed, and later, Paul takes her to the terrace atop the restaurant where he proposes marriage. Iris happily accepts, sharing the news of her pregnancy with Paul. At this moment, Iris notices the singer's son, a playful child who instantly attracts her attention for reasons she can't explain. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. The glass floor of the restaurant begins to tremble. The child playfully tosses a coin from the terrace. Rather than falling to the ground, the coin is pulled into the air conditioning ducts by strong airflow. Inside the ducts, the coin spins wildly and starts disturbing the AC system. This disturbance causes the glass floor to crack and then catastrophically collapse, plunging the guests into chaos. Paul desperately tries to save himself by holding onto a shard of glass, which cuts his hands badly, but he falls along with the others and dies. Iris, standing on a more stable part of the floor, manages to survive. The spinning coin eventually slips out of the ducts and hits a gas pipe, causing a leak and sparking a fire in the kitchen area. The singer is among those who perish in the fire. Iris hides under a piano to protect herself. Trying to escape, Iris finds herself trapped in an elevator filled with people. Before the elevator can descend to safety, a man gets crushed underneath, damaging the lift and killing everyone inside. Half the restaurant tilts precariously, with the piano balancing the structure. When the coin falls onto the piano, it loses balance and that section collapses too, killing more people. Iris attempts to save the singer's son but falls along with him into the cracks and dies. Suddenly, we realize this entire sequence was a hallucination experienced by Stefani, a young woman in a classroom. Stefani reveals to her professor that she keeps having these terrifying visions and nightmares about the incident. Her roommate advises her to seek help from her family. Following this advice, Stefani visits her father and brother, and together they go to their uncle's house, where they meet their cousins. At the uncle's home, Stefani asks about her grandmother Iris, the same woman from her visions. The uncle is bitter and says Iris went mad after the tragedy, abandoned the family, and lived alone on an island. Iris's mental condition worsened, and she left them all behind. The uncle leaves in anger, but the aunt gives Stefani letters and belongings from Iris, including the photo of Paul and Iris in front of the Skyview restaurant. Shaken by the connection, Stefani decides to visit the deserted island where Iris now lives. The house is dilapidated, but Iris welcomes Stefani, excited to see her granddaughter. Iris reveals that she also experienced the same visions and that on the day of the accident, she managed to warn people about the floor collapse, saving many lives by making an announcement. However, death continued to hunt the survivors and their families. Iris explains that death is like a force that corrects the mistakes. When people cheated, those who survived the initial disaster were meant to die later, and if those people had children after the incident, death would come for those children too. Paul, for example, died of cancer as part of this cycle. To protect her family, Iris hid and tried to deceive death. Now, death is after Stefani's family, and Iris entrusts Stefani with a book containing the names and death stories of survivors, along with methods to trick death. Stefani is skeptical at first and leaves, but Iris warns her that death will soon come for her. To prove her point, Iris dies in a mysterious accident involving a gas leak and a series of unfortunate events. This shocks Stefani and strengthens her belief. At Iris's funeral, Stefani's mother arrives, and Stefani realizes death is next targeting her mother. She studies the book and tries to warn her family, but no one listens. The family is shown at a party where strange accidents begin occurring. Glass breaks, ice cubes with shards of glass are served, and small events lead to fatal consequences. Stefani's uncle suffers a gruesome death involving a grass-cutting machine triggered by his fall. Stefani finally convinces her family that death is real and hunting them, but some still doubt her. The uncle's son, who has many body piercings, narrowly survives an accident with a magnetic MRI machine, but his sister dies tragically after being crushed in a garbage truck. This confirms the deadly pattern, and the family becomes more fearful. Stefani's brother pleads for help, and they seek out JD, the hospital worker who is the singer's son from the restaurant incident. JD tells them he too has tried to trick Death but is now battling cancer, and ultimately, death is inevitable. Despite his grim outlook, the family tries to outsmart Death using risky plans, such as deliberately triggering allergic reactions and reviving each other. One plan involves feeding peanuts to Stefani's brother, who is allergic, then treating him to cheat Death. However, a vending machine malfunctions, releasing a spring that fatally strikes the brother after he is revived. Death claims him despite their efforts. Stefani advises her mother to stay in Iris's old house for protection, but a gas leak causes an explosion, killing her mother. In a desperate attempt, Stefani's brother saves her from drowning after the blast, performing CPR and reviving her, giving them hope that Death can be tricked. Life returns to normal for a while, with Stefani's younger brother, Charlie, preparing for graduation. Stefani places a rose in his pocket, only to prick her finger again, a symbolic echo of Iris's injury at the beginning, signaling that the cycle may start anew. The film closes by showing the coin from the beginning falling on train tracks, threatening to derail a train, while Stefani and her brother are shown safe but unknowingly still in danger, casting doubt on their understanding of life and death. The final sequence reveals the inevitability of death, suggesting that despite attempts to cheat fate, no one can escape their final destination.